Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2 CD collection. You can find a link in the video description containing the entire directory structure of this archive. It's week 17 and this is what our diggers have lined up for us today. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply head on over to the Patreon page linked in the video description. Now without further ado, let's begin. First up we have a team dig. Anton Panetta and Dick DeYoung decided to dig up DOSGAMES /arcade /DEVILCOW. Okay, let's see what we got here. DEVILCOW, single executable from 91. So with any luck I won't have to... Wow, that's very, okay. Seizure-inducing here. Let me turn the cycles down. Actually, even with the cycles down, it's still seizure-inducing. So, let's see if I can even attempt to read this. DEVILCOWs from Mars, a freeware game. They're green with one eye, they come from the planet Mars, they want all of our chickens, you must stop them by yourself, this must be your lucky day. Joystick is required. Okay. Let me fix that problem and we'll get back to this. Okay, I got a joystick hooked up now. Let's see. Button 1 is the Plasma Quantum Laser. Button 2 is the Ultra Mongo Disruptor. And spacebar... These controls are weird. Spacebar is the Super Mega Ulta Cannon, not Ultra. And E is the quit button. Press any key to start. Okay. Well, so far it's not terrible. At a loss of words here. Like, I mean, that's why I'm not saying anything. Okay, first of all, I think the joystick controls are slightly busted because I keep moving right when I'm not actually holding anything down. Okay, so I get it. The different weapons have different ranges and different widths. So this first weapon here is the laser weapon, which seems to have the longest range, but also has the least span, like width to it. And then this weapon here is whatever the second weapon was. Now let's see what space does. Whoa! So that's like the really close range weapon. Though it didn't, I actually stopped holding the spacebar quite a ways into that. So, yeah, the keys were kind of locking up there. I'm guessing that's why the guy decided to go with joystick support instead of keyboard controls, because he couldn't figure out how to write a decent keyboard handler. I've noticed that their attacks are getting more and more intense the longer this goes on for, but of course the game is slowing down every time I fire my weapons, so... Oh. Okay, so I was taking damage and I ran out of power. Fair enough. Now that I have the cycles down, this intro sequence actually goes a lot less crazy. So let's actually go back into that. But yeah, my character won't stop moving right. Okay, so the game has its own, doesn't seem to have proper joystick calibration. So that's why it's detecting right constantly. I mean, this is why you had to calibrate joysticks in DOS, because everybody's joystick configuration was going to be different. It would return different analog values and everything. So now with modern computers, what ends up happening is that the joysticks either auto-calibrate, or you set up the calibration data once, and then the operating system remembers that. But in the days of DOS, you didn't have those options, so every game had to do its own calibration, and this game didn't do any calibration. So that means it's using whatever values the original programmer thought would be normal, when in fact those values are going to be different for every single user. Actually, in all honesty, this is pretty cool. Like, I mean, the sound effects are a little obnoxious, But overall, this is kind of fun, actually. That's why I haven't been saying too much. I mean, I will admit, it's extremely basic, but I like the fact that there's different weapons. I like the fact that you actually survive multiple hits. It's not like one hit and you're dead. Especially given the kinds of weapons the enemies are using. Actually, I would argue that that's the only drawback with this game. Well, aside from the spastic controls and everything, is the fact that the enemies have shots which instantly hit the bottom. If the enemies had shots which actually took a moment to get to you, that'd be a lot more fun. Because then there'd be an actual semblance of trying to dodge them. Oh, and there I go. No high score tables either, so... And this definitely has the feel of somebody's first game project. I'm just gonna go in to get rid of the flashing, but, yeah, this is actually a pretty fun game. The only catch I would think is that this came out in 1991. So it's like, 91, you already had, like, games like Stunts coming out, and Commander Keen, and it's like, this is pretty basic for something out of 91. So that's why I get the impression that this is probably somebody's first programming project, and or one of them anyways. And for what it is, it's actually pretty cool. So, very basic, but still fun to play. And that's my final verdict. Next up, Patrick Wong dug up DOSGAMES /Arcade3 /Tunnel. For some reason, a part of me wants to think that this is going to be Tunnels of Armageddon, but that couldn't possibly be it. Because that's a commercial game. Also, I think it's not as old as 94. Or not as young as 94, I should say. But let's see what we got here. The Tunnel Man by Chun Xiang Yim? I don't know what the Yim part's for. But, free software, encouraged to distribute. Oh wow, there's actually an email address on here. So, early 90s game with an email address. You don't see that very often. And yeah, this looks to be primarily done by one person, but with some extra help. So, let's see what we got here. Ooh, 256 color graphics going on. The Tunnel Man. The story so far. As a miner, you always have to work underground for very long hours. Since the whole family's income is dependent on yours, you always have to work overtime in order to support their needs. That kinda hits a little too close to home for some people, so... An interesting way to start the story. Whenever you walked under a brick, the brick would fall automatically. You'd also collected a lot of dynamites and a detonator when you were searching for the exit, since you were not sure whether you were strong enough to open the door by your hands. There's a lot of story here. This also seems to be serving as a manual as well, sort of. Okay, so here's where the pieces of the level are. So we've got the character, the bricks, ladders, dynamite, detonator, walls, just a big gray square, and the exit door. So the rules of Tunnel Man: to complete each level, you have to collect all of the dynamites and a detonator. After that, go to the exit. You'll be able to go to the next level after you blow a hole in the door. So they're like locked doors that you can't get through unless you explode them. It's kind of weird. Note that when you walk under a brick, the brick will fall down. And your face actually changes color as you start running out of oxygen? Jeez. And R to retry, which will cost a life. Okay. Okay, so I just figured out that holding keys down is a really bad idea. Because the game is buffering the keystrokes. So, you have to push the keys one at a time, otherwise you will definitely move too far. So this first level has very little in the way of puzzle elements to it. It's basically just go through it and get to the exit. And yeah, standing in front of an explosion, really good idea. So yeah, it's kind of a... I'm not sure if this game actually takes after anything in particular. And I just screwed myself, didn't I? I don't like that there's no way to keep track of your lives, aside from, like, counting them in your head. So I've lost 2 lives so far from having to retry. So yeah, that going down the ladder like that doesn't drop it, but going across like that will. But then how do I drop that one down? Oh. Geez, the levels got a lot harder, a lot faster. Okay, so 2 lives left. So let's drop this one first, and then this one. Wow. 1 life left. This game should not have limited lives. Okay, I think I got this. And blow up the exit door, and moving on. Okay, what? Seriously? We just went from easy as pie to somewhat tricky to what the hell is this? I mean, you're expected to do this on 5 lives. I am not a wizard, Harry. I don't have any clue how to get through this without screwing myself over. I guess I could just wing it, but... yeah, I don't think this is going so well. Yeah, because I have no way of getting that particular piece now. Let's just get it over with. Wait, I can't... The R key's not doing anything anymore. So... What? You just... Oh. Oh, hello. Hitting spacebar apparently brings you into the editor for the game. And it gave me my lives back, too. Yeah, all you have to do is push spacebar and you go into the game's editor. Huh. Well, how about that? I have no idea how this editor works, but... Oh, there it goes. So you use the new number keys to change things. See, here's the other problem, too, is that this is level 8. This kind of looks a lot like level 3. It's an okay, so this was definitely an interesting premise for a game, and it has a lot of design work to it for sure. And the fact that the editor's built in is pretty cool. But ultimately, the level design is extremely repetitive. Yeah, even level 4, it's like, because the levels have been designed to be so incredibly convoluted, where it's easy to make mistakes, it's like, you don't really have a lot of options for making that look interesting. You know, this is a game that probably could have benefited from having, like, more to it than just picking up dynamite and going through an exit door and having the bricks fall on you. I mean, if there was more mechanics to it, and if the levels had were less puzzly and more, like, styled a little better, that'd probably make the game more interesting. Plus, the fact that it ended after 5 lives, that the restart key didn't do anything at all, so you essentially became trapped. I don't know what this... I don't know... This... I guess the best I can say is that it's average. Because it's not like it's doing anything wrong, but it could be doing so much better, too. So... yeah, average side-scrolling puzzle game. Our last game for today is DOSGAMES /Arcade2 /Pango2, which was dug up by Juan Bourbano. I think I know what this is. All I've got is a single executable from 85. Better make sure my cycles are turned down here. Okay. So, Pango... well, just Pango. I don't know where the 2s come from. Use a color monitor, yes. Joystick, no. Yep, this is exactly what I thought it was. Okay, so... well, oh, wait a minute. Look at the author down there. That's the same author as that tunnel game we just played. That's pretty interesting. We just had 2 games by the same author. Oh, I never realized that. Because, like, I mean, the first time I saw this game before was in one of Lazy Game Review's videos, one of his old ones, the where he went through a bunch of Key Punch software stuff. So a lot of the Key Punch software was actually had the copyrights replaced and everything. And I think this was one of them that was like that. But yeah, I better see what the controls are. But yeah, these are the things that they'll end up doing. Basically, the idea of the game is to basically squash bees with blocks. And the controls, I remember, yeah, they're kind of weird in that it's kind of like if you took the AWDS keys you would normally see and put them on the right side of the keyboard. So you end up with OKL semicolon. Well, it works. And then spacebar is the attack key, or the kick key. And you can pause by hitting anything else. So let's actually start this. Level 1. So yeah, CGA color, as you can see. And then you just kick these things. And the trick is that you don't want to get caught by the bees. Whoa. Okay, the game sort of took control away from me. Well, let's see if I can squish this one. There we go. And there we go. Level is 1. Get some bonus points. I'm not sure what's up with the diamond blocks, but they're a thing. This is actually surprisingly difficult to control. And yeah, they can actually break through the blocks too, which is kind of weird. Yeah! He broke through a whole bunch of them in a row there. This is actually a lot harder than it looks. It'd help if I could get a beat on what the AI was doing, but... that was quick. So, maximum bonus, I think. Oh yeah. So if you manage to do it quickly, like, that seems to be the secret to this game, is do it as fast as you can. Because yeah, the other tricky thing is that enemies continually spawn in, too. So, you gotta watch out for that. Whoa, and now the music's going faster? Whoops. That's weird. Why did the music speed up? So the controls are working fine now, though you do have to be careful, because if you push too many keys at once, it seems to get really confused. Whoop, that guy spawned in too. Okay. So this is kind of like what you would expect out of an arcade game or such. Okay, I see what happens with the diamond blocks. They actually move faster. Maybe. Okay, you guys can stop spawning in now. Ah, I forgot they can break through the... Oh, I see what's going on. They don't start breaking through until they hit the red zone. Ah. So basically, if you take too long in the level, the enemies just start coming right after you. And those are interesting high scores. So yeah, that was Pango. Very interesting arcade-styled game. It has quite a, has quite a good design to it. The controls are they're kind of a little awkward because of if you push multiple controls at a time, it can really get lost as to what you're doing. But beyond that, it seems to work pretty well. The music isn't totally annoying for PC speaker music, which is kind of uncommon, but yeah, not a bad game.